1, drop it.
I'm going to start it off with tip number 1. Okay, to start it off, I'll be saying this. If there's multiple people going to your house, land at the very bottom and you'll be able to walk around at the bottom floor and you'll find shotguns. Shotguns do not come from chests unless you're getting a heavy shotgun. And you'll find most of the shotguns on the floor because they're ground loot. Now we're on to tip number 2. When jumping out of the battle bus, you usually want to jump a little bit later than everybody else and go straight down so you can glide straight into wherever you're wanting to go. In this case, I'm wanting to go to Moisty, but I dropped straight down and glided in it, and I end up having a perfect drop. Tip number 3. This one's more of a just useful one. Shoot through windows, because some people act like the windows don't exist. You can actually shoot through the windows, and I get a lot of my kills this way. Like, you can do it with an AR or you can do it with a shotgun for 147 damage. Tip number 4. This tip is break all the stuff inside the houses, all the furniture, all the chairs, all the cabinets, and all the desks and everything, because it will get you a lot of wood and help your materials severely. Tip number 5. You want to jump up and down and not run in a straight line every time, because you never know when a sniper's got his sight on you. Tip number 6. You can loot in the storm. Just because it's there inside the storm doesn't mean that you can't get it. You can still grab it even though it's in the storm. Tip number 7. In a build battle, everyone's trying to fight for the top, but if someone else decides that they want the top and gets up there before you do, go ahead and break their building and then go ahead and kill them. The exact same thing happens here. He tries to get to the top, I block him off, and so does the tree. I turn around, skybase a little bit, and I stay at the high ground the entire time, because you want to hold the high ground. High ground equals headshots, and it gives you all the power. It makes them push, not you. In this case, I do push though, because sometimes they get a little bit mad and decide to try to break the bottom of your fort. So I decide to jump down and attack him. Same thing here. Get the high ground, hold the high ground, but don't be afraid to jump down and push. Like in this situation, I saw a dude come up. Me and him were in a little bit of a battle before. I shot him once, and he shot me once. I think he shot me for 50 exactly or something like that. And I shot him for like 81. So it was a good exchange. Then I turned around and I came up behind him, and he had no idea that I was behind him. Tip number 7. Place stairs and you can drop a little bit farther than usual. Tip number 8. Don't box yourself in, it will just kill you. Tip number 9. When you're in one of the final circles, it helps to build up and make a little base to get a little bit of cover and to shoot down at the enemies. You can also make it as fancy as you want, as you see here. I decided to expand it out a little bit so I can shoot from a different direction, so I'm not peeking in the same place every time. Tip number 10. When getting double teamed in this situation, like right here, it helps me a little bit when you focus on one enemy and as soon as you knock them, you flip to the other one. Tip number 11. 100% accuracy is your friend, especially with headshots in a little base battle. Like right here, I see the guy's head, I knock him immediately because of 100% accuracy. Tip number 12. Everybody already knows when you get in a big fight, everyone wants an advantage in that fight, whether it be the high ground or more materials. But in this case, you can actually use a launch pad for offensive help, where you can rush people. Everyone knows you can use it to get away, but you can also use it for your advantage to attack people. Like in this situation, I used it to wrap around and try knocking this guy. Another guy used it to get away. This guy tried to, but he couldn't quite do it. Tip number 13. If you want to, you can build a base at the highest point inside of the circle and you will control that circle up until the next one. And if you're in the next one, that will be even better to your advantage. And on top of that, if you have a lot of mats, it will be great because you can just blow through a lot of mats if you want to and make it as crazy as you want to, and you want to build it out of a harder material like brick. Or you can do it like this time and build it with metal. The only problem is metal takes a little bit longer to become strong and it is easily shot down. Like for example here, this person wasn't looking, so I decided to try building the metal base real fast so that I could try and get the metal completely fixed before this person tries to blow it up and stuff. So I tried to distract them and make them go away. Tip number 14. This one is really helpful. Take a shot while you have a shot. If you can get that first shot off, it will help you severely. You will have him so low that it will be easier to take him down, especially right here because I wanted to use my tactical SMG so it wasn't completely useless and it almost got me killed. But if I didn't have that first shot off, I would be dead right now. Same thing goes with ARs. If you can get those first shots that you just take when you think you can get a couple shots in, sometimes you'll surprise yourself and accidentally kill them. Tip number 15. This is probably the biggest thing in Fortnite. You have to build. If you don't build, you will probably be overpowered in combat, and you want to be able to shoot behind some cover so that you're shooting at them but also not taking damage, not having your body completely visible. Like right here, I built and blocked a lot of this guy's bullets, and it helps especially when you're getting double teamed too, because you can block off the guy shooting and then you can come up and fight like this guy, the guy who's rushing me, a shotgun guy. You can come up behind and kill him, and then you can focus on the other enemy. Same thing goes for right here. I dropped a couple grenades in on this guy's base. He got scared, he moved out of the way, and I didn't take a single hit from this guy because I decided to build. So I didn't have to bother putting on any more minis. I hit him once. He tried to do the exact same thing, building his combat. He couldn't quite do it, and I just crouched down and killed him. Number 16. This is one of the most useful ones. Drink a couple minis in the middle of a fight and you'll be able to get a little bit of an upper hand health-wise when the guy's trying to rush you. In this case, it actually saves my life because the tree blocks my shots. But thank you for watching this video. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel for great and awesome content. And I will be having another solid gold video coming out soon. And the ending is super close.